Back at it again with the Vans.
Mm, with
So,
the white vans.
yeah, with the white Vans. Stepping stones, man. So, with that being said, the military is majority of the time a great stepping stone for most people. But there's a big caveat to that. You have to be willing to adapt to coming in and taking on the tools and training that comes with it.
Yeah, 100%. Not a lot of people actually even, in my personal opinion, understand the positives that come with using the militaries. I think in most people's there's like, oh man, I gotta go do this, or they're gonna make me cut off my hair and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you have to do those things, but you only have to do it for 4 years if you choose to. But even if you only do those 4 years, you will get out of it what most Americans strive to get all their life, which
Yeah.
the main thing obviously is the freaking VA home loan. It makes it 10 times easier to be able to buy a house. Um, Having that as a main tool and along with other accolades that what comes with doing a couple years of service. Um, but yeah, like I do agree with you. You do have to just understand that, like, okay, like this is gonna suck for me, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be a great tool for me for the rest of my life. Or maybe your family's life, depending on at what point in times you come in your lifetime, if you decide to come in.
Evolution of your life. And that's
So
the biggest thing. And that's where a lot of people mess up and they don't understand that this is not going to be everyday life. The reason why you made this option or took this choice was, hey, you were trying to get away from your surroundings. You were trying to better your life, or the old thing where the judge gave me this choice: it's either jail or go to the military.
yeah,
No matter
yeah,
what the reason is, use it as a stepping stone because at the same time the military is going to get from you what they put into you. So get from them what you're going to put out. Take advantage of everything. Take advantage of the TA. Take advantage of the VA loan like we're talking about. Take advantage of those things. Don't just, if you're going to do 4 years, don't just get out with nothing. Don't just get out with the bare minimum. Take everything that is offered. If you're
yeah.
doing this, right, understand that it comes with some behavioral changes that you need to make because the reason why you're joining is to get away from the place that you were in or to
Yeah.
travel and see the world, but that comes at a cost.
I mean, just like with anything comes at a cost. It's just a matter how much you're willing to sacrifice. Because you got people who been working in the civilian sector all their lives, but they've been working like two or three jobs all their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do think that some people should put it on the table right away. I think half the battle is just at least just going to see the recruiter and see what the options are.
Yeah.
Um, is this meant for this? Honestly, the military is not for everybody,
No, it's
100%. I
not.
cannot. It's not. But if you're at a point you're a crossroad in your life where you don't know what you're gonna do or you can't figure out the next 5 years, at least I would at least say if you join the military, you'll have more benefits of doing that than just trying to float through your teen through your 30s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
But I also see the military as sports. Everybody's not good at the same sport, right? You got some people who
I
are
understand
strictly
that. Yeah.
good at baseball. You got some people who are strictly good at football, and you got those pure athletes where they can just fit in anywhere. So I do agree with you. You should go in and see the recruiters and see what would work for you because that's where I believe most people mess up at when they join any aspect of the military is they join the wrong branch thinking about the wrong things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, um, I think all in all, uh, the Navy kind of chose me. So um, I'm happy. But like, I stayed still in the back of my head. If I had a choice, I'd be like, man, it would have been cool to be a Marine. But now that I think about it, I'm like, they still don't get to travel as much as we do,
No.
and they don't like, and that's why like I'm happy that I got to join and see other parts of the world and, you know, kind of, I guess, carry on the family heritage, uh, to carry on the family, because I'm fourth generation Navy, fifth generation military. So, um, I'm the first in my family to at least do 20 years and put on khakis. So, like, that's a staple. And I mean, that feat's not easy. I'm going to tell you what, when you start realizing and looking at the numbers, how many people actually retire or get out, not a khaki it's actually quite substantial. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, and it takes a lot of effort to make that track and path and get to that point, but it's not doable. It's just obviously it's up to you and what you really want. So, but yeah, the military 100% is a great stepping stone. But there's also other programs too that like other things people sleep on that are stepping stones. You don't have to join the military to do. I think the stepping stone matters is like, for example, like, I went through plenty of jobs before I joined the military. Heck, even doing wall, is it like wall plastering? I
Yeah.
did that for a little bit, right? But that that time the reason why I say this is because that time I did that wall plastering job was like probably like 2 or 3 months before I was supposed to join the military. So I quit my regular like 9 to 5 job and I was just doing side jobs. But that wall plastering job was actually paying me the most money out of that I've had in that year and a half I was trying to go to college or do what I thought I was supposed to be as a college student, even though I didn't do it. You know what I mean? It was just a reckless
Nah.
year of freaking smoking weed and figuring my life out. Um, but yeah, that was like a little stepping stone to help me that because I went into boot camp with a couple $100 in my pocket.
Yeah.
So that helped me out in the long run. But like it's those small little things that like I didn't want to do waffle. That was a lot, bro. I was waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was driving like 2 or 3 hours outside of freaking the Valley of Arizona, like to like Sholo and stuff like that to do these what they called they're like double wide homes to get them replastered and all this stuff like that. So like it sucked, but it was paying me the most money at that time that I needed to do until I at least joined the military. So um but those I think they're all things I don't know. Like I do feel like our generation is that generation. We still kind of have that like, all right, we'll suck it up and do it just because we know it's going to take us somewhere. And sometimes it's hard to see that because in your head you're just in like this sucks. Instead of just letting it go, be like, you know what, I just got a job to do. And I'm going to do it to my best of my abilities, whether I like it or not. You know what I mean?
With that, I'm gonna step right into it. So, hi, welcome back to the Gills podcast, and thank you for your views and your likes and shares. We have William the creative and Reginald. I keep forgetting what I am, but hey, welcome to the
What
Grumpy
you
Gills
did say?
podcast. Thank you. We're talking about
You
stepping
said,
stones. We're
you
talking about
said,
stepping stones here.
yeah, you said my whole name, William. Appreciate that, my boy.
That's how we step into life.
You just got you.
That's how we stepping into it today.
No, so um, yeah, I mean, stepping stones are just small blocks that help build your foundation to get you somewhere in life. That's literally all it is. And most
Yeah,
people don't know how to maneuver that part into their brain because I would say 90% of that battle is all mental. It's like being like, okay, like I understand that this sucks, but where I want to go in life, I got to go through this process. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's yeah, 100%. It's not easy. It's not. And I think, we build more mental toughness as us being in the military. Like Like you might have like 100%. Like you've met people in the military, like they love their job, but obviously there's other things that entail being in the military that you're like, this part of my job sucks. And but
Yeah,
for me
being
to
in charge
continue,
sucks.
yeah, yeah, like
Being in
to
charge
me,
sucks.
for me to move further in my career and what I want to do while I'm here, I gotta bite the bullet on this.
Yeah, but if you look at that, each rank is set up as a stepping stone for you to learn to go into the next rank. The more responsibility, the more you take on leads into the next rank and how it's supposed to be set up for you to be able to lead and show other personnel. And a lot of people they bypass a lot of those stepping stones and just rush into the next rank so they don't know what to do other than take care of themselves.
Yeah. And you see it, you see people like they have like this gas or I would say glow in their eyes where they're like, man, like I want to be a chief so bad. And I get it. There are some people they're cut from a different cloth, but like I also seen it where you get these young chiefs, like super young. They made chief in 6 or 8, I'd say under 10 years. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
they made chief under 10 years. And you can tell by the way that they carry themselves and how they're distinguishing their military career that like they're still learning about life too. There's not like you know what I mean? And I got nothing against it. Hey, to each is their own. A win's a win, man. If you made chief under 10 years, my hat's off to you. Hell, I met a senior chief under 10 years. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But uh, you can also kind of tell the way they kind of distinguish and carry themselves. Like they're also being carried still too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the right way to say it. But um, whatever got them there, I'm pretty sure they had to bite the bullet pretty hard because understanding how much what it takes to make it to put on khakis, whether it's officer or chief, um, you're definitely biting some bullets to be like, you know what, I just gotta suck this up and do it, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but like I said, like we said, like those stepping stones are just foundations for something better in life. Um, whether you do and what vice you do for 20, even if you do 20 years, right? And this is coming from personal experience. Even if you do 20 years, you're still further ahead than most people who did college for almost ten years and still not even able like fully into their career yet,
Yeah. Because of the
you know,
experience. Because of
because
the
of their experience.
experience that you're garnered in the military,
Yeah,
that you're given to be in leadership roles at a very young age for most people who come in right after high school.
yeah.
You know.
And you got to have a keen eye or you got to have a keen mind to see and understand that part. Like, even now, like I'm in the process of retiring and I'm lining my resumes up to some of these other jobs that I want to apply at. And I'm like, I'm technically overqualified for some of these positions,
Yeah.
based off of the skill sets that we acquire while being in the military. And then when, obviously, picking up khakis. So it's like, it's kind of crazy to see how it actually works out. But like, I'm a firm believer that like e- every little every little block that I've built spiritually, mentally, physically to get to this point in my life, like I feel like the back half of everybody calls, once you turn 40, it's like your second life, right? So it's like the back half of this is going to be amazing, right? Because I I kind of endured a lot, whether it be on my own, whether it be I caused the pain myself, or I had to go through it because, I put myself either way, it was all choice by me making bad decisions, right?
Yeah.
So it all had to happen, right, to get me to where I want to be at today in life and how I want to be the rest of my life and who I want to be the rest of my life. So, and some people don't have that insight about themselves to even look at. They still
Yes.
and I know
Yes.
and I know you can see it, bro. There's still adults who you can still kind of still carry that like I just want to be so cool that like I still need to have the latest this, the latest that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, at my age, I don't care like what designer shit I have on, bro. Like honestly, I'm more excited having my own shit than I am buying like, name brand clothes, but like even still, man, I don't, I don't need much. Like I don't like when I see people who are like, 40, 50 still collecting sneakers, I'm like, that is your persona. I'm
Well,
like, you can't take them, but I get it,
you gotta look at
I
it
get,
though. With collecting sneakers, it's like any collectible. A lot of
yeah,
sneakers,
not
if you keep them in supreme condition, you can the resale value is ridiculous.
well, the problem is now that's kind of going away with the China market being exposed.
Well,
Literally.
I can tell you the purse thing, yes. Sneakers, the sneakers will never go away. People will still pay overpriced for sneakers. That's why you have a lot of sneaker channels right now.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. The China market is also,
No, I'm not talking about the China market. I'm talking about there's actual people still out there buying sneakers. I can send you a
yeah, I
page right
mean,
now that's always popping.
I'm probably pretty sure I'm part of like one of those pages because I collect sneakers, but not like to the extent where I'm buying sneakers every week or every, I was never like, I like different type of sneakers. Like I never just was like one of them dudes like I need to have every pair of J's that came out. I like a couple of numbers, but other than that, like, but it's just like, but either way, the way that like that to me, it's like that's what you're known for. And I'm like, like, and I get it. Everybody has their own niche, I should say. But I wouldn't, me personally, like, I would not want to be known for like, oh yeah, that's just the guy that collects sneakers. You know what I mean? Like, it's in resales. Like, it doesn't, that doesn't have any substantial like.
But that's the person I would go to if I needed some sneakers.
I mean, I get it, like, but
That's the
I
person
still wouldn't.
I would go see if I needed some sneakers. But
I
no,
mean,
I understand what you're getting at with the mental blocks. Some people come in with mental blocks already in, but that's due to the nature of their environment and what they grew up in. But also too, as we
yeah,
talked about in the last episode, some people who are coming in already like in their 30s and toward the end of their 40s, it's kind of hard for them to break that because anybody that's talking to them, especially in boot camp, is probably not their age. It's probably the age of their kid that's already grown up. So they got to
yeah,
get
that is
past
true.
that and realize, excuse me, and realize that, hey, I got to make it through this part. And a lot of them, don't get me wrong, a lot of them, they understand, hey, I got to go through boot camp, got to make it through this, got to understand this. Especially when I
It's
was an,
just,
yeah, especially when I was an instructor. I think one of my oldest students at the time was like, he was at the cutoff, 43. And we were sitting in class one day, and I could see he was getting mad. And I asked him to stay back, and I wanted to talk to him and like, hey, what's going on? And his frustration was that a lot of the junior sailors that were in the class, they would just joke and play at the wrong times. I had control of the class, but for him, like certain things that we would talk about, he was like, "Well, that doesn't need to be that doesn't pertain to the lesson. I'm trying to learn." Because he had a harder time learning this than most of the junior people coming in. They just pick it up like that.
yeah, because their mind's still fresh. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of set in his ways, so he's kind of blocked his learning curve.
So okay, him and I talked, and I was like, "Hey, I want you to understand. Once you graduate here, because you will graduate here, you will make it through this course. You just got to put a little bit more time in than anyone. You got to remember when you go to any command, your Devo is probably going to be old as your son or daughter graduating from college.
Hmm.
And they're going to be telling you what to do. 9 times out of 10, the oldest person that's probably going to be close to your age in your division is maybe your chief. And it's a 50-50.
Facts.
I was like, you have to find a happy medium for yourself to let a lot of this stuff to roll off your back. He's like, yeah, I get it. And I was like, hey, man, I got a question. Can you tell me why that you made it to this point and said you wanted to join? Because I'm always interested when I see older people. At the time, I was I was early 30s. I was early 30s, but I had been in by that was what year roughly around year 14, between year 14 and year 16. So, on the way out. And so I asked him, and this is about to be year one for him. And I asked him, I'm like, wow, what made you want to join? He was like, kids out of the house. I was retired from my first job and needed something to do. Well, you picked you picked something exciting, but I understand what you're getting at. I understand the frustration of most of these younger people don't get where you're coming from a lot of the time, and you have to stay in the barracks with them, even though you're a full fledged adult who's lived life. You have to live in a barracks with 18 to 25-year olds who probably don't know how to clean themselves or stay up all hours of the night. So yes, I can understand why you come to class frustrated.
Yep. I mean,
So, but I was
it,
like, you have to get past that mental barrier. You got to get past that mental block. I remember coming in myself. I think I was 18, 19, 18, 19 when I came in. And that was one of the biggest things. That was one of the things I remember somebody telling me. He was like, yeah, nobody's going to yell in my face. And because if they yell in my face, I'm going to just wild out and hit them. That was never me. I was like, well, if they yell in my face, and then I'm just sit there and take it because I made this choice to join. All I'm going to do is just ruin this opportunity because what happens if they're going to yell in my face? What, I'm going to wild out and punch them? And then what, they're going to punch me back? And now we're
I mean,
fighting? And now
yeah.
we're fighting? Who's going to get kicked out? Me? And now I'm right back where I started, where I didn't want to be?
It's crazy because I've never been like blatantly yelled at in my face until I became a mining.
Yeah. I didn't,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
RDCs, they didn't, they didn't really yell at us. They was
yeah.
like,
Like,
they did the disappointed parent thing.
yeah.
Um,
Even through boot camp, I never got like, we got yelled at as a collective.
yeah,
I've been yelled at as a collective, but never just like in my face, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think, but I've also like kind of used to that because like growing up, when I get disciplined and shit by my parents, but
yeah.
um, it was it wasn't until I had some issue like that until I became a mime and I was like, oh, okay, got it. You know what I'm saying? So,
I got
um,
really, I got really strong in boot camp because I had a lot of mental stepping stones that I would forget where I was at majority of the time, especially like during holiday routine. I remember one holiday routine. Um, our the Hardy C's usually walk around the barracks or whatever, and this was the
yeah,
first time our RDC AO1 Smith, I believe, he was walking around and he was always he was he was mean, but he was fair.
mm,
And he just so happened to be coming through doing his normal inspection. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, I forgot where I was at. And I was like, what's up, Smith? And everybody stopped. Everybody looked. And I was like,
ooh,
so go stand in front of go stand in front of the office? Yeah, go stand in front. Yeah, Gaines, you know where you gotta go stand. All right, cool. I got I got some work. I told you I was strong coming out of boot camp. I was I was strong coming out of boot camp. Yeah,
uh,
that was a long PT day. That was a long PT
no,
day.
no,
But
I think it's it's funny so let's go back to stepping stones. So literally every time I had a moment where I was either wanted to get out the military by me kind of trying to force my way out, or or basically trying to get kicked out, or like when I thought I was gonna get out, like so what so the first major issue I ever had in boot camp, this dude, so you had the Liberty weekend, your parents come after graduation, all that shit.
Yeah.
So I remember in boot camp, I can't remember the dude's name. I think it was like Red something or whatever. But he brought his cell phone back into he went and bought that was at the time when Sprint had I forgot Sprint had these like phones. They were like Nextels, but they
Yeah, the
weren't,
walkie
and they were
talkies.
but it wasn't a walkie-talkie though. It was like they came in different colors like red, blue, silver, green. They had all these different colors.
Yeah.
But anyways, he had brought it back. And he was the only one that brought it back. So he was like, as soon as the RDCs left, he was using the phone. He was like, man, I got 3 minutes. Who I want to use my phone? So I called him over there. I was like, hey, this was happening, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you guys when I come home on leave or whatever. That's all I call. I used the phone for like 2 minutes and I gave it back to him and I went to sleep. Bro, we all woke up that morning. This motherfucker to the art. We had an Asian RDC male, a female RDC, and then we had uh we had a white dude, right? The Asian guy, I can't remember his rate, but he was a PO1, walks in at like probably like 4:30 in the morning, right? Into the compartment. And I guess he found the phone on a dude's chest, bro.
This was up.
So he
Fell
so
caught
he
to his
so
trail.
so he freaking took the phone off his chest, didn't say nothing. So he took the phone off his chest, didn't say nothing. So we all wake up. They wake us up at normal time. And then boom, he just starts snapping. Whose cell phone is this? Don't worry, I already know whose it is. The biggest problem is I also know how many of y'all used it, bro. I froze. I was like, oh shit. I froze, dog. I was
Somebody
like,
ain't erased the call log.
I was like, I was like, not only did this man fall asleep with the phone in his chest, uh, he freaking uh didn't erase the call out after he went to sleep, which he said he was. He's like, don't worry, I'll freaking uh I erased the call out, whatever. So, anyways, so they're like, so they start calling out everybody's number that used the phone by their number. Because they had called the numbers back that they called. So so when they go, whose parents are Sabrina and Earl I was like, oh, my head just dropped. So like literally, and it was crazy. It was literally like probably like 15 bunks on my side that we all used the phone. So everybody else got to leave and load the bus. This is the day you get to load the bus. You're either gonna go
Oh yeah,
across
yeah,
the street or you're gonna fly out, whatever.
yeah.
Dog, I was like, well, I'm about to get kicked out. Like, so we all had to go down to the freaking. I think I was in the USS. We all had to go down to the ship's freaking master chief, and he just freaking goes in. Well, that dude, they took his phone. Like we were all in there, bro. They took his phone. He took a hammer to it and smashed it.
That's what's up. The
I was
day
like,
I was supposed to be leaving.
and in my head, I was like, I know how much that phone costs, bro. That phone is almost $1,000.
Yeah,
So, but it like those small moments. Now that I think back at it, I was like, I had to like mentally, I had to go through that because it was building something in me that I didn't know. Uh, and it was like you've got to learn how to have tenacity through all the bad moments,
yeah.
and that was just something I've picked up, in the past couple of years. Because, like, obviously, my story. You're like, you're the only dude I know that could,
Let's not even
that,
talk about that.
but we're not gonna go down that
Let's
path. But you're the only dude I
let's
know
wait
that
till
could make
you
it make it out of
let's
anything.
wait till
But
you get out. Talk about that.
yeah, but anyway, so it's like I've just learned those moments. You got to have the tenacity to just stay strong and be like, you know what, it is what it is. Whatever's gonna happen from this moment, it's gonna make something out of me. So, um,
You know, you gotta
uh,
use it as a stepping stone, right?
no, it is,
And
and that's
going to DRB disciplinary review board or XOI, executive officers inquiry, and even to the final step to captain's mass or naval judicial punishment (NJP), you can always come back from situations like that depending on how severe it was.
What? Yep.
Depending on how severe it was, if it doesn't get you kicked out, then you can come back from that. And a lot of people, they let situations like that, like you talking about, they let those little mistakes stop them from being great. I'm not talking about a serious case where somebody actually hurt someone. I'm talking about, hey, you made a mistake and you gun deck maintenance, or you signed something you shouldn't sign,
Yeah.
or you know, things of that such. Now, let's not mistake this for when people actually hurt people. Yes, those people should be dealt with severely and be punished to the highest degree.
Yeah. 100%. But I mean, either way the cut goes, like if you don't have these stepping stones in life, you don't have these building blocks, and willing to understand that sometimes you just have to like suck it up to get where you want to be in life. And like I said, the military is a great option for a lot of young people in uh I'm gonna say in the US, for a lot of younger people in the US. And that obviously, and the crazy part is statistically proven, there are more people who can't join than people that can, based off health records. So, you don't even know until you go see the recruiter and try your shot, And if you get that opportunity, then you might as well take it because it's going to help you out ultimately. But, you know, I get it. Some people, depending on your family backgrounds, where you come from, some people are set, they got college set up, all that other stuff. But for those who come from, the upper middle class and below, man, not everything's, cookies and cream out here, like, some things, some dreams are sold based off other people's dreams that they're still trying to sell. So you got to learn how to figure it out for yourself. And if you don't know, like I said, if you don't know how to have that hard vision of where you want to be at in life, 100%, I would say at least try and join the military because it's going to give you more than what you are trying to figure it out. So,
And that's the crazy part. People think like just join for 4 years. Before you know it, that 4 years has gone by. You have gotten more experience in 4 years than somebody who has went to college and did internships in those 4 years. Depending on what your degree field is, depending on what your job is, you could have gotten more certifications because we have so many cert programs that you can get
yep,
and transfer over to the civilian world via being Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, and the Coast Guard as well. There
yep,
are a lot of options. If school isn't the option or you can't pay for it, we have tuition assistance in the military. We have the GI Bill that you can use while you're still in, and you can use once you get out.
yep. And there's other programs too for vets that also help out. We're not going to go deep down in those weeds, but yeah, there's also other programs too that can still help you pay for school and all this other stuff. So, but other than that, man, yeah, like the military is a great stepping stone in life. Take advantage if you can. Go, like I say, go see a recruiter. Just go see the recruiter. No matter what branch, I'm going to be pro Navy because that's just me, but no matter what branch, go see the recruiter first before you weed yourself out. Go see the recruiter and at least take your ASVAB. If you're still because I don't know if they still do it now in high school, but I know in Arizona growing up, everybody as a senior was required to take the ASVAB no matter what. So if you were to join right after high school, you were already ready to go in a sense. But if it's been a while, sure, you can do practice ASVABs online. They got ASVAB for dummies, stuff like that. But you can do practice until you can go take your ASVAB and see where your scores are and see where you line up at. But take advantage of what's there because even it's still not easy to join. I'm not gonna say it's, you're gonna go see a recruiter, you're gonna leave tomorrow type thing. It's still not easy to do because you could also have, family health issues, stuff that happened like earlier in life and all that stuff that you may not be medically clear for, or even at least now tattoos are a lot. easier. Obviously, you can't be gang related and stuff like that, but you know, there are waivers and exceptions to everything. You just got to be willing to go. You got to go see the recruiter. You'll never know until like the term, you never know until you shoot it. So that's basically it. You never know until you go see the recruiter. So
Do your research. Do your research. Don't get out
yeah,
here and
and it
be like, oh well, they sold me this dream.
no,
Hey, and also too, make sure everything that is told to you, because I hear it too many times when people get, well, I was told this. Was it in black
it's
and
not on
white?
paper. It's
Yeah,
not on paper. You didn't sign for it. It didn't happen. So,
it didn't happen.
but other than that,
Okay,
man,
we will. With that, we're gonna step out of this episode into another stepping stone of our lives. You enjoy your life. Come back again. Like, share, and subscribe. Look
check
at
us out.
links are in the description. Go to Anchor, affiliate, store. Buy a hoodie. We're gonna keep this hoodie lore going.
Yes, we are. Grumpy
And
Gills
William
hoodies
the
up.
Creative. William the
Starting
Creative is
now.
out. Reggie the Tech. That's my name. Reginald the Tech. There we go. I remember it now. I'll see y'all guys next time. Grumpy Gills out.
Love, peace, chicken grease.